Thank you for tuning into another episode of She Laughs, a podcast dedicated to bringing you honest and transparent viewpoints in this daily faith journey. Now join with me as we listen to T and Crystal discuss the latest.
Oh my gosh, start the day off laughter, as usual.
As per usual. Hey y'all, it's your girl Crystal. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Right. DJ, cue the music.
Cue my theme music.
Right. Welcome back, everyone. It's been a long time. But welcome back to She Laughs with Crystal and Tanisha. I am Tanisha. We done already heard Crystal introduce herself to everybody.
What's up?
But yeah, man, we're back. I know some of y'all thought we was finished. Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. That didn't happen.
Not going nowhere. Still at it. 7 years later.
Ain't stopped yet. Oh, I know. You're heartbroken. Oh, well. Find something else to do. But yeah, we're here, man.
Oh, man. How you been?
I don't know. 2024, we said at the beginning of the year it was going to be interesting, and it just keeps getting weirder times infinity. And we're in September, and it's going to continue to be weird. So I really don't know. I'm at peace, praise God, through all things. But it's just been up, down, left, right, upside down. Lord Jesus.
A lot of transitions. Both of us have suffered some really heavy losses this year as far as loved ones. So we had that space to deal with. And then just God moving us around and then just seeing what's happening in the earth. This has been, I would say, ever since 2020, it's just been weird. Weird is the word. Weird.
Yeah, it's increasingly gotten weirder every year. And I think at this point, I'm wondering, will I be used to it? I don't think so. It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna get used to it. No. I still have high expectation for the promises of God in my life personally, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get used to the twists and the turns, because it's been some twists and turns.
Because it's like, just when we've unlocked a new level of weird,
right?
And I'm like, okay, all right, we're probably just going to stay right here for a second.
No.
Then you get introduced to something else and you're just like, and I guys, at this point, weird is like the word, it's just a catch-all phrase. Because everything now is just immediately just weird. I don't know about y'all.
And it's a total advancement on top of the weirdness. So, yeah.
And I'm just like, and I put like a reel in my stories, I want to say a couple of weeks ago. And this lady, she spoke exactly my thoughts and feelings. And she said, can you just be normal? Just be normal. Just
there is no more normal. No more. Normal is gone.
And I realized, even as I laughed and I thought that, I was like, Lord, the fact that we think just be normal should be normal, and realizing that normal is like an outlier at this point in the earth and stuff. That the majority is weirdness. Yes. And you're like, I gravitate to people who I'm like, oh my God, it is such a relief, because you're just a normal person. Like, you recognize yourself, you understand your faults and things like that. You're either on your healing journey or whatever it is, but you're not being weird.
Yeah. Weird is now the baseline. It just is what it is.
Yes.
What you don't want is extra weirdness on top of the baseline of weird.
And guys,
So,
let's just be honest. Weird used to be when we were growing up. Oh, they're a Batman fanatic, so they wear all Batman stuff and everything. At some point, they gotta wear their Batman watch, even though they're 40 years old. It's just their thing. That long gone. I would take back that weird any time of day. I promise you.
right.
Bring back that level of weird, okay? If that's the only weird that I have to deal with, please. And everything.
Right.
I'll be looking at folks and I'll be like, they just love Batman. What's wrong with it? Nothing else.
Yeah. Right.
But the way some of y'all are moving,
it just is what it is at this point.
and I'm talking about y'all weird in the church and out of the church. I ain't just talking about outside of the church. I'm talking about in the church too. Y'all be doing some weird stuff.
They've been doing it for the last few years, and now, like I said, it's now the baseline. So, I mean, we're here. We are here. We said it was gonna happen at the top of the year. I don't think we really realized that it was like for real going to happen, and we're here now. So,
because I really be looking at some people like, it ain't even that you got a second head. It's the fact that I'm seeing a third head pop out of your head right now that has I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know how you got that thought process.
right.
I don't know. I don't know how you connected those dots. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I agree. I agree.
So,
how are you doing though?
This year has definitely been a year for me. Not gonna lie, guys, a lot has happened in transition for me. And most people, to be completely transparent, as we're always on this podcast, it has been a faith walk the entire year.
Right.
I have amazing days, and then I have some not so amazing days.
Right.
For those who don't know, if you don't follow me on social media, Crystal up and moved to Thailand this year. Crazy faith move.
Right.
So learning stuff about myself has been interesting. Being in a place that is unfamiliar and thousands of miles away from my comfort zone has been interesting. God building my faith walk in that has been interesting, but also an amazing amount of peace.
Right.
It's definitely different because there's one to have a peace of God. That is an all-encompassing peace. I'm not going to lie, just being an African American that is no longer living in the United States comes with a whole different level of peace that you really didn't understand until you're actually living outside of the States.
Right.
So I'm in unfamiliar territory, and it's interesting. It's amazing. It's scary as all get out. Not ever going to sugarcoat that for anyone. It can be really scary. But God is amazing. He is amazing. And he has definitely taught me some things in this year that I don't think I ever would have learned had I not just followed his prompting. So
Right.
that's where I'm at with it.
She's an international girl.
Yeah. We out here in these international streets in a country that is 95% Buddhist. So it's been interesting and amazing all at once on that line. But so to say how I'm doing, I'm maintaining. I am maintaining. Because like we said, I've had a lot of losses this year as well, you know. So still dealing with that.
Right. I mean, it's only been a few months, so it's understandable. Yeah. It's not like it's been years.
Exactly.
The process and everything, and you only been gone for a few months anyway as well. So again,
yeah. Sometimes it feels like I've already been gone a year, and then I look up and I'm like, oh, it's not been that long.
No.
But so much has happened in the day to day. Right. You're like, I've been here a long time, and you're like, no, you haven't. You actually haven't.
Right.
So
that's understandable. Yeah. That's totally understandable. So, as always, moving forward, what you got for us that you're seeing on the internet? Because I ain't got nothing.
Y'all, I had a really good one, and so my quotable is this, and I saw this, and I'm going to repost it because, it says, the 11 sons of Jacob couldn't hear that Joseph called them stars. They only heard bow. Jealousy is a thief of blessings.
I never thought about that like that.
Yeah. They couldn't hear that he had actually called them stars. And one of the things I've realized is because over my life, just to be completely transparent, I've always dealt with jealousy around me ever since I was a young girl. And because of that, for the majority of my life being the people pleaser that I was, I shrunk myself to fit in because I didn't like that other people were jealous. And that was never my intention, because I would look at them and I would see stars. I.e. Joseph, they're stars. And now I'm understanding you call them that, but they can't hear that because they do. And it's a inward thing in them, to where they're not even aware of their own greatness. And if that person is not willing to hear their own greatness, they will never see it on themselves. They have to be willing to hear it. And they'll always be jealous of others around them because they can't see. And so it reminded me that sometimes people just aren't ready to hear who they are. And that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
I didn't speak incorrectly. I didn't tell you anything wrong. I told you who you were, but you were not in a space ready to receive it. And that's something that God has to deal with. But at the same time, they still are stars. So maybe one day they'll see themselves for who they were created to be. Don't know, Lord. But it was an interesting perspective for me to listen to that. And seeing how many people really are denying themselves blessings because they refuse to just see who God created them to be.
Right. That reminds me of the story of Moses and taking the people into the promised land, and how they came back after going in and spying and saying that they looked like grasshoppers in those people's eyes. And it's like, first off, you spied, so no one saw you. So how do you know that
what
you are a grasshopper? And to even use that metaphor of downing yourself so much. They weren't giants. These were regular people. So to you to assume they're giants and you're grasshoppers, even though God told you the land was yours.
Right.
He specifically said that that's your land, but you still deemed them better. That whole generation had to die out.
Whole generation.
Because it was a mindset. The God's like, you can't go in that into that promise with that mindset.
Not at all.
It's definitely the same equation. You can't. Joseph's brothers couldn't become the stars that they were because of that mindset.
Of that mindset.
Yeah.
No.
They couldn't become the stars that they were simply because of that mindset. And I know somebody's listening. Well, if God said there are stars in it, it's their own fault that didn't come. What do y'all call it, prophets? It's called a prophecy, self-fulfilling prophecy.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's happening a lot. It's funny to even bring that up. That's happening a lot this year, which again, we said that. And I think even when we said it, we knew it was an unction. We knew we were feeling it in our spirit when we declared it. I don't think we really got the gist of, no, this is really going to happen this way.
Well, hindsight is 20/20, and I am now okay with the fact that God will give me a word and being like, you know what, God, I'm probably 9 times out of 10 not going to fully understand this until it comes to pass. I'm not going to.
I don't think I still understand it now, and it's still coming to pass that a certain mindset has to go. I think it was so harsh in the beginning hearing it that I was like, Lord, you mean like go? Yeah. Yeah. I mean go. But when you look at the amount of grace, which we will never really know how that went, but the amount of grace that was given to those with that mindset to change, to work on it, to think higher, to do better. There were communities surrounding them to get them to be better. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like I said, it's still yet happening. And I'm still in awe of I knew you weren't playing, but to see it play out. And we're in month 9 and it's still playing out.
And then to see this year is rushing by like this. We're in month 9.
Right.
And you're like, the month just started, but we're already about to be in winter. We're already about to be in fall. We're already this year is just about done. And Lord, there is so much that you have accomplished and set up a framework for. And you're like, yeah, and it's a lot more that's about to happen in these last 120 days.
Right. I know a lot of the prophetic words that were given from the trusted voices we listen to.
Right.
Child, y'all.
Come on.
Y'all. I am, a small caveat. I am so disappointed with the prophetic world right now.
Yes.
The fact that there's beefing on social media is
weird. You're
nauseating.
being weird.
It's nauseating. I am sad. I'm gonna be totally honest. I have struggled to not be righteously angry or self-righteously angry, I should say, because what you're doing is swaying people who are already struggling to try to find and understand who God is character-wise, and you're tainting it because you're so freaking prideful.
Yeah.
That I'm glad I ain't God, because the wrath that I would cast.
I tell him that all the time. I was like, Lord, you got it, because
it's absolutely.
I agree with Thanos.
Look,
everything. Avengers me, man.
It's absolutely crazy. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But anyway, a lot of the prophetic
making
words
a name for themselves.
Look.
Making a name for themselves. That's what they're doing. Off of God's people.
Off of God's people.
That's
and
what
in
you're doing.
the time that we're in, and the amount of loss that has happened and is still going to continue to happen, and you're basically are profiting off of fear mongering. You are profiting off of people who lack true wisdom and knowledge of the Word of God. Just nauseating is the only word it just really makes me want to vomit.
See those no different than go back into old times as those snake car salesmen. That's what you're doing.
Yes.
Selling false dreams, false narratives, false prophecies, and manipulating people's emotions. And that is witchcraft.
Yes, ma'am. It is witchcraft.
That's witchcraft.
It is witchcraft. It's witchcraft.
And there are some who actually are gifted prophets that are operating in witchcraft. And I actually look at them and I'm like, so because you are prophetic and you know that you're prophetic and you purposely are operating up under this, that lets me know that you purposefully are choosing the consequence of your actions.
You got
so my job is to then intercede over those that are actually listening to you, because they really don't know.
Because they don't know. They're so lost. And like I said, there's so much more coming for this year that, and we've said it before, and I have no problem repeating it. Please, please, please get in your word, because you have got to make sure that foundation is firm. Because the shaking that we had back in 2020, there's going to be a much larger shaking that is to come.
It's going to be worse, and your eyes will be deceived.
Easily. We're seeing it.
With AI, it's going to be deceived. You're not going to be able to tell real from fake. And not even just that, just information on the web is going to change in real time.
Right.
I would tell people, if you can do so now, please go get you a physical copy of a Bible, preferably that was published in the early 1900s, if you can. Nothing that was published here recently, because a lot of people don't know that Disney actually owns the rights to the Bible.
Yeah, sure does.
Which means that they can edit it, and they have already started.
They are going to edit it.
They've already started editing information out. And people will say, well, I mean, why should that be a problem? Well, what other business actually owns the rights to a religious manuscript?
Right.
I don't see this for the Muslim world. And what is it that they call their book? The Quran.
The Quran, yeah.
You don't see this in Buddhist texts.
Nope.
So the fact that the Bible is specifically been owned, purchased, and has the publishing and copyrights owned by a business entity should be an issue.
It is an issue. I don't understand why that's not widespread news. Well, you know what? I do understand why. I'm sorry. Exactly. I don't even know why I said that. Never mind.
Exactly.
Why it's not. But yes, please get a hard copy, and please get a translation that is close for you to understand.
Yes.
You don't have to get King James if you struggle so much in your comprehension
of those
words.
Now, what I would say is have a King James and one that does help you with your comprehension level. So that way, if you do feel like, hey, what is this saying? Or go back and look at both. And then make sure that it is translating correctly. But yeah, y'all, if you're not aware of what's going on, and pastors and prophets and teachers, if you are not telling your congregation about these things that they need to get in their word, because at this point, everybody is using a Bible app. They are using Kindle. They are using iPads at church. That is all well, fine, and good. But if you ain't got an actual copy,
yeah, I would definitely suggest
because the
that
first
you
thing
buy
that always gets banned is books. And once they burn those books and you don't have any knowledge of those books, after a certain time span, it can then be whatever you want it to be. And so God says that my people perish from lack of knowledge. Okay. So if they can get the information and manipulate it or change it or update it and everything, because well, culturally back in those times, that's not what God says. And so we live in a new culture and time frame now. So we need to update it for the time that we're in. I can see that being something that is said and used to manipulate it, because it should apply to the time that we're in. But I see people taking those and twisting those words that God had written or had in the Bible prior to force their own agenda.
They're doing it now.
Yes.
They're doing it now.
So, again, we've said this before.
I'm going to continue to say it till I'm blue in the face, because
Q. I'm not a Dr. Umar fan, but I'm going to say it in his voice. We've said this before.
Right. Right. It is happening. It is yet happening.
Like, come on now. Y'all, like,
it is yet happening. So please, this is not, and this is not to create fear.
No,
not at all.
But it's to put some arsenal in your bag for you to actually have tools to deal with what's coming and what's happening now and what's going to continue to come. Because what's going to happen with this election is going to throw us all for a loop. It's going to throw us all for a loop.
Yeah.
You think it's going to end one way, it's going to end another. And it could still have the outcome that everybody is hoping for it to have, but it's going to be a whole bunch of twists and turns in the midst of that.
It's already starting to twist and turn, so it's going to just continue to get better. Bigger.
The world is watching. Y'all are really. Some of this stuff is so widespread knowledge, and I'm like, Lord, how are people not knowing about some of these data breaches that are happening in the U.S. that are not just coincidence? It's not. Like, y'all.
That's definitely really what they're saying. It's accident. No, it's someone testing things out to see what they're going to do. This is called practice.
Thank you.
That was practice.
Thank you.
So, just be ready, y'all. Just do what you need to do to prepare yourself. Of course, believing God is sovereign. I definitely would admonish those who have the gifting of intercession to stay on the wall, because we cannot change God's hand, but we can go before Him and ask Him we never know. Things could be slowed down. A blow could be lessened. We don't know. That's the point of petition. We can always go before Him and ask. But at the end of the day, He's sovereign, and His will is going to be done. Again, but that doesn't mean we can't petition. That's the literal purpose of.
Well, let's think about who was it? Noah? Was it No, not Noah. It was Abraham. Sorry, Lord. I thank you for getting my Bible stories right. Who petitioned for Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Correct.
And he said, Lord, God told him, hey, I'm going to smite this city and everything. And Abraham had said, hey, if there's 20 people And God said, I won't smite it. And then Abram said, you know what? I'm not confident in that number. Lord, maybe
like,
10. Let's just cut that.
Let me bring that number down a little bit.
And what I love about that, if you think about it, is that was a whole city. So you're talking about at least thousands of people.
Yes.
But in the story that it goes, Abraham said, I know there's thousands of people in there, but Lord, if it's only 20 people in there, can you just please not? And he said, sure. All right. What if it's 10? I won't. If it's 5, I won't. Now it wasn't 5.
Right.
So God did. But the fact that God says that 5 of my children are so important to me that if one of my other children intercedes, I will give grace to all thousands in this city.
Right.
Should let you know what power you have as an intercessor to intercede over cities, over nations, over countries.
Yes.
Just to say, Lord, please, if it's just 5 of them, please spare the entire city. And God will say, yes, I'll do it.
Yep.
So stay on that wall, stay petitioning. My believers, I fully believe that we will be fine no matter what, because God is good. And he takes care of his children. But my heart is crying out for those who are not either true believers,
right,
or have been manipulated in such a way that they don't even understand the things that they are doing. And I'm like, God, go after them. And I know he has been, because he's been going after his children for a while, trying to get to them. But sometimes the enemy can literally put almost like a film over your eyes and over your ears to where you can't hear or see clearly. And I'm like, God, can you just go and snatch that film off their eyes, snatch that film off their ears, and get them into a safe place before it is too late?
Yeah.
And everything. And I'm just gonna be ahead and be honest, because y'all's prophets ain't really telling y'all this, but Leviathan is loose, y'all. So y'all need to be Leviathan is loose. Behemoth is coming next. Y'all really and if you some of y'all really think that these are fairy tales.
If they even know what they are.
That's what I'm like. Are y'all really reading instead of using the Bible to manipulate and get your way across for the things that are inconvenient in your little life?
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Work stuff, all of this stuff. That's low level thinking and stuff. There are really things happening here now in the earth. There is a real war going on. There is a real battle. There is really things happening that you have no clue about. And you may think, well, what am I supposed to do? Because I can't fight Leviathan. You can get on the wall. You can start interceding.
You know why they don't know about it? They're scared.
Yes. And not just, I'm not talking about just the ones that are going to church. I'll be honest, some of y'all's teachers and preachers that are in the pulpit are scared to really tell you this information.
Absolutely, they're scared.
And so they would much rather tell you that you're about to get a car next week.
Yeah, that's better.
Than tell you that Leviathan is loose.
Yeah.
Because it would cause you to give fear. But if they really do truly believe the word, they need to be admonishing you so that they can get you prepared for what is coming. They need to be providing you with tools in your arsenal to deal with the spiritual warfare that is not only here, but that is about to rev up. Because it's going to rev up.
That requires discipleship, which we're going to talk about. Not today. That we're gonna definitely talk about that, because that's been kind of heavy on me. But we ain't getting into that today. But yeah, that requires true discipleship. It's funny that you said that, because I was just thinking about those that are afraid to even hear the names of those spirits, let alone even talk about spirits. How funny it is the enemy will use things like the movie The Deliverance to have Christians arguing with each other, right? One swaying all the way to one side saying, don't watch it because the spirits will jump through your TV screen, and the other one saying, and others swinging all the way to the other side saying nothing at all will happen. And now you got them beefing, and you have people in the middle saying, well, I don't know what to do. No. All of this arguing is going on, and meanwhile, still the spirit world is going unnoticed.
Thank you.
All this spiritual warfare is still going unnoticed because you Christians, and it's only the Christians, you Christians want to argue amongst yourselves, right?
Yeah.
You're arguing amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
About this one movie.
So this is my thought process on this, and I'm going to say this too. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to clear it up for all of y'all, and you're going to get offended, and I really don't care. Okay? I don't want to hear what your thoughts are on this movie and how folks should not go and watch it, nor do I want to hear another person talk about Beyonce and Taylor Swift is a witch. Okay?
Come on.
And telling folks, don't listen to them, don't do this. Because here's the thing, okay, sir, ma'am. Y'all don't even confront the witches that sit in the pew next to you.
Crystal? Not only that, but you will purposely go to a deliverance ministry just so you can see a demon on display. But you too afraid to watch a movie saying it's going to jump through your TV screen, but you're sitting in the church just entertained by the demon and I say this very lightly, the deliverance minister who's sitting up there entertaining the demon, and you like to watch all the purging happen. Oh, it's entertaining to you, but you're too afraid to watch the movie because it's gonna jump through the screen and a portal's gonna be open.
Couldn't that demon jump out of that person and then jump into you?
Come, Crystal.
But what we use is, well, and everything, they jumped out of the man that Jesus and jumped into the pigs. No, God cast them into the pigs.
God cast it out, and it only happened once in the Bible. No other time in the Bible has that been recorded.
He sent them there because they asked. They didn't want to leave the territory.
And it only happened one time.
So that lets me know that the demons have to ask permission.
God give the devil entirely too much power.
He has to ask permission. And I'll be honest, y'all, now, and I don't understand why y'all are fighting because about this movie. Tanisha, you watched the movie.
Yes.
No problem. For me, God will let you know if this is something that you, not all believers, you need to either watch or not. Now, for me, I saw it and I was like, Lord, I don't need to be watching that, do I? And I am someone that loves to study demonology. I have books on how to decipher between different demons because I feel like if you are going to go and have to battle with some of these enemies, to understand who your enemy is, how they operate, and what are the signs of that demon might be in that person. What tactics do they use? Not a problem. But there are 2 movies, and Deliverance was one of them that came out this year. And the other one was an exorcism about those 2 little girls that got lost in the woods and came back, and they were
it's called The Exorcist or The Exorcist. Okay.
Yeah. Those 2 movies, God was like, yeah, I don't need you to watch those. However, the one movie with that came out, I think this year or the end of last year, with Gerard Butler, who was the main exorcist, one of the head ones for the Catholic Church. I watch, and that is a historical lesson. That one actually is documented. It is very widely known that it happened. And I'm waiting for the second one because it is going to be a continuation of what happened in his story. I said, so God will tell you, hey, watch this one, don't watch that one. Watch this, don't do that. And everything. And y'all, I'm just, Lord, please be with your children because I need for them to be prepared for this battle because it's too many of y'all that are too scary.
You're scared, and that's not a good thing. You have no reason to be scared.
No.
You have no reason to be scared. And the sooner you admit that you are, the sooner it can be fixed. But you sit there and act like you're not.
Because I'm not going to lie. I used to be scared of a lot of stuff. I'd be like, Lord, there's a demon over there. Like, what is, and everything, like, what am I supposed to do? And everything. I don't want them. And that was a lot of religious mindset that was in me, a lot of religious teaching. And God was like, hey, you see this book right here? I forget what Apostle Eckhart's book is. I have it a physical copy, and I also have a digital copy. It's a spiritual manual where he goes into all of the different spirits, where they came from, what other spirits might combine with them as a stronghold for you. Right. And once I started researching it, and God was saying, this is where some of these things are coming up. This is why I asked for you to go to deliverance, so I can deliver you from some of the roots, and these things can flee out of your life and out of your bloodline. And you can break some of the strongholds on your life. You can break through some of the barriers in your life, whether it be in money and finance and love and work and health, all of these things. But you have to know who you're fighting.
Yes.
You have to know it. And you can't be scared. There's another scripture where, the apostles, the disciples, they were trying to call a demon forth outside of him. And God was like, well, why can't I get rid of this one? He won't leave.
Right.
And God was like, this one comes by fasting and prayer.
Yep.
And so that lets me know there's different tactics for different demons when I go into warfare against them.
Right.
I have to battle them a certain way.
Yes.
I also have to have a belief in the confidence of the God in whom I'm serving and who I belong to in order to even go into that battle.
Which that also right there was the tale of the movie. But that's neither here nor there.
And everything, he tells us that I have given you the ability and the authority to tread upon serpents.
Yes, ma'am.
So if he's given me that ability, then why am I scared of a snake bite?
But he already said it's getting weirder and weirder times infinity. That y'all pushing. I've seen more posts about why would you sit up there and watch this demonic movie than I've even heard about people encouraging people to go watch The Forge, which is a Christian film that just came out the same time this one was released, about discipleship. But I'm seeing more posts and think pieces about
deliverance.
Go and watch The Deliverance. And it seems like it is totally overshadowing the Forge, which is in theaters that everyone should go and see. Which I plan on watching this weekend. But I'm not. I ain't heard nothing about it.
No.
Up and down all of my timeline, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's all I see is The Deliverance. No one is talking about The Forge. And
everybody
I'm like, you all don't. You don't see. You're not paying attention. It's weirder and weirder and weirder.
That's it. The word I feel like of this decade is weird. Y'all are weird.
Weird. No, weirder. Okay?
Y'all are weird. Weirder than what you've ever been before. Please, Lord, take me back to the days where folks just wanted to wear Batman watches every single day.
Well, that time is done. Done. Look, y'all, we're gonna wrap this up. We're just happy to be back once again.
Yes. Getting
this ball rolling. Of course, you guys will be able to catch us every other Friday noon. Yep. All of your what are you called? All of your podcasting platforms. We will be there. She Laughs is here. We ain't going nowhere. Sorry for you. You got any last thoughts, Crystal?
Stop being weird, yo.
That's
normal. Just be normal. No.
Oh gosh.
Where can they find you, T?
Right. Y'all can find me on Instagram is She Is Tanisha J, and Facebook is Tanisha Williams.
And as always, guys, y'all can find me on Facebook at I Am Crystal Charmaine or on IG at I Am Crystal Charmaine. Until next time,
we will see y'all. Love y'all.
Peace out.
Thanks again for listening. We hope that you were blessed by today's discussion. To keep up with the latest on the She Laughs podcast, be sure to subscribe on most major streaming platforms. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you feel led to donate, please send donations to paypal.me/She Laughs. And don't forget to send us your questions as well. We'd love to hear from you. As always, stay blessed.